Peace, family, and welcome to another episode of Underground Railroad Radio. This is your host, Brother Rich, and I'm joined once again by the living legend, Professor Griff. Welcome back, brother.
Give thanks, Brother Rich. It's a pleasure to be back. Not under these circumstances, but it's always a pleasure speaking with you, man.
Indeed, indeed. You know, I just, I was in Jersey. I was at my uncle's house in Jersey, and I was kind of off the grid. I decided to go off the grid for a couple of days, so I didn't really hear about this shooting with Alton Sterling actually today. One person told me, then right after that I talked to you and you told me about it. So, yeah, I said I definitely got to do a video with Griff on it once you told me about it. Just to get right into things, Professor Griff, I seen a Instagram post. The Instagram post said Trayvon Martin equals non-conviction, Sandra Bland equals non-conviction, Katherine Johnston equals non-conviction, Sean Bell equals no conviction, Eric Gardner equals no conviction, Rakia Boyd equals no conviction, Amadou Diallo equals no conviction, Mike Brown equals no conviction, Kamani Gray equals no conviction. Kenneth Chamberlain equals no conviction. Tamir Rice equals no conviction. Freddie Gray equals no conviction. And all of these are the people that have been killed recently. And I guess it's a trend where people are just making a count of everybody that gets killed by the police, and then they just get off. This situation here, I'm looking at the video, seeing what happened. I'm on mainstream media, listening to them. It seems as though the same narrative plays over and over again. And I said the first question I want to ask Griff is, I want you to talk to the people about America's continued denial about what's going on. It's like say you're married, Griff, and you find a sex tape of your wife with another dude, and she'll lie in your face and tell you, well, that's me. But this and but that and but this and but that and but the, and it's what America's doing. It's like it's on film, and they're telling us everything else besides what we're seeing on film, time and time again. They pull up criminal records. They talk about the black on black violence narrative. The white conspiracy theorists, they all got together and they saying it's a Jewish conspiracy now. It's not really white people. This is designed as Jews, and they want a race war. So, the Alex Jones conspiracy theorists, they got together and decided that it was that. You got some of them saying, well, it's the hip-hop culture, the way we dress. If we don't respect ourselves, the police won't respect us. So, it's everything but what we're seeing. Professor Griff, talk to me about that, America's continued denial, always deflecting, and talk to me about what you've seen on video, Professor Griff.
Oh, wow. The whole idea of this pathology that America tends to repeat and play over and over and over, not quietly among who they are, where they have the lavish dinners and they talk about it, or secret clubs and they talk about it. This is being played out on the media in which they control, Brother Rich, so they can control the narrative. And it's almost like, okay, these people are stupid, they're sheeple, they're gullible, they will believe anything. So as a matter of fact, let's do just that. Let's feed them anything and see if they'll go for it. And once they pulled out the faith-based community that came out and spoke on their behalf in order to calm things down, this seems to be the narrative. It's almost like, okay, everyone stay calm. We know we're killing you, but just stay calm about it. And that's a very unnatural thing to do, Brother Rich. is to stay calm about your loved one getting shot down, especially in the way this brother got shot. Now, there's a lot of people that were in doubt before as to how it's being handled by police officers. There is absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind right now that these people have an agenda to murder and kill as many black men as they can. The whole idea of denial, white people will never, ever admit that they took this country from the Native Americans. They'll never admit that slavery was that brutal. They will never, ever admit the disease blankets among the Native Americans. They will never admit AIDS was made in a laboratory at Fort Detrick, Maryland. They would never admit that they lost in Vietnam and in Haiti. This is their denial. It's a pathology. It's her denial. And even in the face of proof, she's basically saying, well, you just can't believe everything that you see. Wow, for real. Okay. So there was, just like you saw a post, I saw a post that said, explain this shit to me. Both officers' body cameras conveniently fell off just before the shooting. Like, both of them?
Wow.
And even if they fell off, they still work. You will still hear what's going on. It says, in Baton Rouge, a city that is only 25% black, 100% of the people killed by police officers in the past 3 years have been black men. It says he was stopped for selling CDs in front of a store where he always sold CDs. Just like in Tamir Rice's case, there was an anonymous caller about someone having a gun. Who the hell is this anonymous caller? We need to track this fucker down. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because every time this anonymous caller calls, a black man gets shot. Dead. Louisiana recently passed a Blue Lives Matter bill to make police officers an extra protected group under the law, i.e., example, a crime against the police officers is now considered a hate crime, as if they were targeting an ethnic minority group. Last but not least, under Louisiana law, police officers get up to 30 days to gather their thoughts and legal representation before being questioned, unlike non-police employees. So that means they got 30 days. They don't have to say anything. No transparency. They can put a story together, do whatever they will. Now, people were saying some very outlandish stuff from the one angle of the shooting, of the murder. When the second one came out, I didn't hear too much from them saying people, Brother Rich. I put up on Facebook several days ago, truth is the new hate speech. Truth is the new hate speech.
Yeah.
It's hate speech now when you start telling the truth. And the truth of the matter is, these police officers actually assassinated and murdered this gentleman. Plain and simple. I saw it again. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. But then 18 people sent me the video. And then I saw the second video, and I just said to myself, wow. I watched the press conference with his family, and I just said to myself, I don't know how they could take it. I got a very unlikely call from a family member of mine, and I said, wow, if this is affecting this particular family member of mine, something really, truly is about to go down. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It really, and that's the sentiment of most people, Brother Rich. They have no more faith in the justice system, the criminal justice system. They have no more faith. They don't trust cops anymore, anywhere, be it suburbs or the hood, the ghetto or wherever. So, it's one of those kind of situations where Elijah Muhammad said, here we are sticking our hand in a barrel of snakes trying to figure out which one is a good snake.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. Until we find a good snake and the one present itself, we're going to look at all snakes as being bad. Plain and simple. Plain and simple, Brother Rich.
I want to read an article to you real quick, Professor Griff, and ask you some questions pertaining to it. This is from PBS. This is an article from PBS by Joshua Barahos, I think is the pronunciation of his name is. It's called How the Nazis' Defense of Just Following Orders plays out in the mind. In a 1962 letter as a last-ditch effort for clemency, Holocaust organizer Adolf Eichmann wrote that he and other low-level officers were forced to serve as mere instruments, shifting the responsibility for the deaths of millions of Jews to his superiors. The just following orders defense made famous in his post-World War II Nuremberg trials featured heavily in Eichmann's court hearing. But that same year, Stanley Milgram, a Yale University psychologist, conducted a series of famous experiments that tested whether ordinary folks would inflict harm on another person after following orders from an authoritative figure. Shockingly, the results suggested any human was capable of a heart of darkness. In particular, acting under orders caused participants to perceive a distance from outcomes that they themselves has caused. In other words, people actually feel disconnected from their actions when they comply with orders, even though they're the ones committing the act. Now, this is quite interesting because that's what you see all the time with police officers all across the country. It's happened to me when I was stopped illegally or searched illegally. The first thing a cop will tell you, harass you illegally, the first thing they've always told me was, I'm just doing my job. So it seems as though this is nothing new, Professor Griff. It seems as though this was happening during the reign of Hitler, World War II, Nazi Germany. Same shit, Professor Griff, just doing my job. So it seems as though there's no guilt. There's no sense of a moral responsibility when you're, hey, I'm fucking you over. I'm just doing my job. Lawyers work in the court. They know the court system is rigged and, it's bullshit. Hey, I'm just doing my job, man. Talk to me a little bit about this psychology, Professor Griff, because this is kind of interesting, because anybody who is black has heard this before. If you grew up in the hood, maybe if you didn't even grow up in the hood, you have heard this from a cop before. Man, I'm just doing my job. And you're like, God damn, man. So they've been doing this, Professor Griff. Talk to me about what is this psychology that we continue to hear time and time again?
I think, Brother Rich, psychology, ology is the study of the psyche. Western world teaches us that the study of the psyche is the mind. Psychology is the study of the mind. This is what they teach. So if you can successfully brainwash someone into getting them to think that they're doing what's best, not only for the state, but for themselves and the individual, Brother Rich, underline this now, and the individual that they're inflicting this particular pain on. So I'm beating your ass for your own fucking good, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. I'm doing this, and this is for your own good. Hopefully you will thank me a little bit later on for inflicting this pain on you, because I'm only doing it for your own good, because in the long run, it'll make you and your people a better people, because you guys don't know any better. As a matter of fact, taking it way back, you guys are animals. You guys are subhuman. And the laws are designed to keep not only you guys in place, but it's good for America. But they don't inflict the same punishment on white people. So, and this is a very serious psychotic dynamic that happens among white people, how they got to disconnect themselves from the actual act that they're doing in order to carry out the act. I think it's way beyond that now, Brother Rich. I think they've been doing this shit so much they enjoy doing it. The scripture says, Lord, forgive them not, for they know not what they do. Shit, as long as they've been doing it, Malcolm said they're good at it. They're professionals.
Right.
They think nothing of it. If you watch the body language of the officers, it's just another goddamn day on the job, Brother Rich.
Mm.
They got up and walked away and stepped aside and let the man die.
Mm-hmm.
Administering no first aid or anything. And shooting someone up close like that 6 times in the chest, that's murder, Brother Rich.
Right.
That is murder. Mind you, in an open carry state. Tamir Rice is in an open carry state. And we have to keep these particular things in mind. So if they're doing their job, Tamir Rice was in the park just being a kid. So now here we go, same scenario. Big dark-skinned, Mike Brown, Eric Gardner-looking brother, Alton Sterling, in front of a store, selling CDs to to earn a living to take care because there's no jobs. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of times people are underemployable. If I could put all those syllables together and it makes sense. Not unemployable, underemployable, just beyond unemployable. Meaning that even if they wanted to hire them, the skills are not up to par in order for them to maintain the job. I don't know the gentleman personally, but I'm saying this is what's going on. This particular dynamic is what's going on, Brother Rich, and we need to understand it. So to lay these white people down on the couch and take notes and dive into their past, all right, we already know and understand that they're operating from on a psychological level, dealing with what Francis Cress Welsing has given us all these years. They're operating from an inadequacy, meaning that they don't have enough melanin to keep this thing in check. They're inadequate, so when they see the big, burly black man, automatically they see he has a weapon. And as Dr. Francis Cress Welsing teaches, the weapon is not the physical gun that he has in his pocket, but the physical gun that he has in his pants. You understand what I'm saying? And this is the basis from which they're operating from. So to balance the fight out, to balance this thing out, even in their sight, they have to pull out the equalizer, which is the gun, and they have to dump bullets in them to neutralize them. And the only way to neutralize that particular individual is to make sure he's dead. And this is what they do on a daily and consistent basis. And at the end of the day, when they go back to the precinct, they're just doing their job. They're just doing their job. So subsequently, when you watch CNN and these people, apologists come on for the white police officers who shoot us down, in essence, they're just doing their job, Brother Rich. The people that's reporting the news, we're just doing our job. We're reporting the news as we get it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, all these hypothetical situations, and we're going to bring in an expert on this. We're going to bring in an expert on black people who sweat. We're going to bring in an expert on the kind of CD he was selling. We're going to bring in a fucking expert. We got a fucking expert on every goddamn thing. And this is the dynamic of what we have to go through time and time again. They have no respect for human value. Langston Hughes said it best. Negroes, sweet and docile, meek and humble and kind, but beware the day that they change their mind.
That was Langston Hughes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, I want to ask you, Professor Griff, in terms of the general public, and do you think the more we keep seeing these, like I said, we've been doing this show for about 2 years or something, and we see video after video of a police shooting, killing go viral. Do you think the more videos of this we see, do you think people are saying to themselves, enough is enough? Or do you think generally people are saying, well, there goes another nigga that got killed by the police? Are they like desensitized? Which one do you think it is? Or do you think it's probably a little bit of both?
I think it's not a little bit of both, Brother Rich. It's a lot of both. It's a lot of both. If you look at the amount of people that have been gunned down, and you read it earlier, with no conviction, there's a lot of people that needed to be convinced, Brother Rich, and I think after this one, there are a lot more people that are convinced that, wait a minute, something really and truly is going on with these situations, man. I'm starting to hear a lot of white people, Brother Rich, saying, something, this is getting a little bit kind of out of hand. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was done at the first one, Brother Rich. By the time Mike Brown's murder happened, I was definitely through, because they brought out graphs and charts and angles and forensic this and forensic fucking files and all kind of shit, man. He turned around and the way his eyelashes looked like he was about to reach for something. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? They act like Eric Garner did not yell 11 times that I can't breathe. You understand what I'm saying? They acted like these things actually really, truly never happened. And, Brother Rich, it is sad. I've heard so many different fake, pseudo, solutions. I call them Band-Aid methods. If you got a cold, Brother Rich, your mom is not going to come in your bedroom, man, and pat you on the head and give you a Band-Aid and leave, right or wrong.
Right.
You have to have the correct solution that's going to suit the particular illness. And a Band-Aid being put over this is not going to suit it. Opio Sarconi from Florida, a friend of mine, came up with this document along with some other people and basically asked the question how the police should work in the black community. I'm not going to read it all, but just a couple of bullet points. It says, how about get to know the ages of all the people in the community, which creates a positive relationship between you and the people that you're policing. This means officers living in or near the area that's being policed. It also means officers get out of their cars and walking the streets and actually interact with people on a professional level and get to know people. They do that. The undercover cops do that only to get information and pay off snitches. But why not do it on a positive level? Number two, more black cops do not automatically solve the problem. I'm going to say that again. More black cops don't automatically solve this problem. Black cops must go through the same type of racial sensitivity training as other officers. White people need to go through a different kind of sensitivity training. All right? We need to deprogram their psyche because their psyche is programmed to kill black from an early age. We're all fed a consistent diet of negative racial images of blacks in this particular walking and do not cross the thin blue line culture. Take each complaint against police officers seriously and follow through. Citizens have to know their complaints are being acted upon. Everybody on CNN that came on CNN that you heard on Facebook and YouTube and Periscope and Facebook Live have basically said the same thing. They want the police officers to be transparent. And we're not going to wait 4 or 5 months for an independent investigation for them to come up with the same old lies that they've been coming up with. Plain and simple. Any officer receiving 2 or more complaints must receive retraining, removal in the area of suspicion depending upon the complaints. Now, guess who just said that, Brother Rich? Mr. Williams. Mr. Jesse Williams said that the other day. And basically those same exact words. So what he says, and I quote, so what's going to happen is we are going to have equal rights and justice in our own country, or we will restructure their function and ours. That's the same exact thing he said. Mm-hmm. We're going to restructure how they handle us, plain and simple. Even in domestic situations, you have to tell somebody, look, don't handle me that way. And you got to restructure how they handle you. Respect respect on customer service. Respect and customer service go a long way, Brother Rich. Citizens should not be treated with respect. No person should be abused verbally, physically, or threatened for exercising their rights as a citizen. As a citizen, they ran up on this brother, and he's basically asking, what did I do wrong? And with no provocation, Brother Rich, the officer ran over and tackled him. Anybody would respond. If I'm asking you what did I do, at least put your gun down and talk to me like I'm a man. What did I do? Sir, we got complaints that you had a gun and blah, 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 blah. Do you mind if we search you and ask a few questions and ask you for your ID? Is that cool? Fine. All right, will you comply? Okay, put your hands on the car. Do you have any weapons, sir? Anything that'll stick me or any syringes, any? Yes, sir, I have a gun in my pocket. Okay. You mind if I take the gun? Take the gun, secure the gun. Now no one's life is being threatened right now. Now, officer, you can put your gun away. You understand what I'm saying? Each officer should understand that it's not illegal for a citizen to film them.
Right.
No citizen is required to tell a police officer where he is going, where he's coming from. You understand what I'm saying? Whether his girlfriend's house or he got a few hours at work, a few extra hours at work. If they're doing a field investigation, then say so. And leave it up to me to let you know where I'm coming from. If you're asking for my ID, I'm going to comply. Here you go. What's the problem, officer? And normally their response is, mind your business, be quiet. Only answer questions that I'm asking you. That's no way to treat the average person. But these kind of things and more should be taught to young people. And not only young people. It seems like now this has to be taught to all of us, man. We have to put this kind of stuff together, and this needs to be the damn tweet and the Instagram message that goes out. Are you following me?
Right.
And the next one that needs to go out is everybody that's within inside of the law that can actually handle it. Need to get a permit. Need to get a gun license. Need to buy a damn gun and some extra ammo, and we need to join gun clubs. And we need to go to the range regularly. You understand what I'm saying? Because it seems like they're forcing our hand. They're forcing our hand. I mean, we don't want to. We're not a violent people like that. And even if they say we're violent, statistics will state and make it. They can actually prove this. They were probably more violent than one another. But no, we need to lock up, man, and rifle clubs and gun clubs, and we need to start defending ourselves. Now, this is no declaration against police officers for people to go out and shoot police officers. Don't take this the wrong way. I didn't say that. I said we need to join gun clubs like everybody else join the goddamn gun club. Everybody needs to have a rifle. Everyone needs to have a handgun. And everyone needs to have at least a 12 or 20 gauge Mossberg to defend themselves against multiple people. Plain and simple. Why not lock up with the people we know and form small gun clubs? There's nothing wrong with that to defend ourselves. They are not going to protect us. They're going to protect themselves and property, Brother Rich. They could have at least went into the store and asked the store owner, is this man causing problems in front of your store? No. You know why? The store owner gave the brother permission to sell the CDs.
Right.
That's his normal spot for selling CDs.
That's the spot, yeah.
Normally, nowadays, and anybody would agree that's listening to this, shit, when you go look for the latest bootleg shit, you go up on the block.
Yeah.
You know where he at. And that's real, Brother Rich.
Well, you know, we've talked about the media's deflection tactics when things like this happened before, you know, but I know there's a lot of new listeners listening to this program or watching this program. I want you to talk to me about the fact that they brought up that he's a registered sex offender. You know, they like I said earlier, they usually go to your criminal record when something like this happens, because if they could convince the people that you're a bad guy, I guess the general people wouldn't, you know, they won't feel no ways about the murder. They'll say, oh, one more sex offender dead. Who gives a damn? So talk to me about the media's tactic of always bringing up the criminal past when something like this happens.
Well, I think what they have to do immediately after the murder, Brother Rich, they have to start working on winning over the populace, winning over the public opinion, winning over people that have a voice that can and will speak up. So they have to win over public opinion. And if they can get public opinion to sway their way, more than likely, if it goes to trial, by the time they choose a jury, they would have already won over public opinion by their psychological warfare, their proper propaganda. Mm-hmm. And by the time they choose anyone, they would have already walking on that particular courtroom, knowing that this guy was a sex offender. So he probably would have committed another crime any old way down the road. So what that he did. But can I ask you a question, Brother Rich?
Yeah.
What criminal record did Tamir Rice have? And shot him in less than 2 seconds.
Right.
No conviction. I could understand some people, and they have, contacted me and said Sandra Bland should not have conducted herself that way. She should have understood X, Y, and Z, yada, 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 whoopie-whoop. That she probably, egged it on and And in other words, subconsciously, I think they're saying she deserved that. How dare you? How dare you? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
She has the right to voice her complaint, just like anybody else has the right to voice their particular complaint. Regardless of what she said, it didn't warrant this man manhandling her, and then taking her to jail, and then they're coming up with some kind of scheme to take this woman's life. Plain and simple. Sean King laid it out. He talked about white supremacist power structure. Helps understand American immigrant history from a nation's founding to current debate over not only Muslim refugees, but all those that they want to criminalize. And this is what it is, Brother Rich. Before we can have the damn funeral, let's criminalize them. Right. Before we can take us to a hospital or to the morgue, let's criminalize them. So even if they said that he had a gun, even if it was an anonymous caller that said he had a gun, how did you know it was him? Mm-hmm. How would you know that was any individual? You didn't drive up and know that he had a criminal record. All you saw was a black man. And you thought the black man had to be neutralized. And this is what they saw, and this is what they acted on. They asked very little or very few questions, Brother Rich. A lot of questions weren't asked to this particular gentleman. They acted just as quick as they acted on Tamir Rice. And this is sad. In the same breath, Dylan Roof, they caught him, they handled him with kid gloves, and took his ass to goddamn Burger King and bought him some food. Mm. He's not dead. All of the white people that go postal and shoot up 10, 20, 30 people, I don't care if it's at a school or a movie theater or in a goddamn park, end up getting arrested and standing trial. Not us, Brother Rich. Not us. We don't get our day in court. They shoot us down like animals and then criminalize us and then win over public opinion. So by the time we hear the story again, like Kendrick Anderson, he rolled himself up in a gym mat and killed himself because his sneakers fell in a gym mat and he went down in a gym mat to get it and he ended up losing his life. And by the time they do the autopsy report, they found out that his organs was missing. And this is sad. Right. So on the Carl Anderson, on the Carl Nelson show, they had a gentleman that worked at the morgue. They had a gentleman that worked at the hospital. And he said that's a normal occurrence now. That when he get a body and the body comes in and they go to open up the body, organs are already missing, man. Mm. And he said, Brother Richard, I'm going to say this real quiet so white people don't hear me. He says, you know something, it looked like they're eating parts of the body. Wow. Hannibal motherfucking Lecter. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Wow. You know, a brother called me about an hour, probably about 2 hours ago, Professor Griff. And he said, well, you know, I know you and Griff probably going to talk about this tonight. You know, he was just giving me some things he heard about the story. And he said, well, you know, Rich, I know y'all not into the protesting too much, but I'm going to go out there tomorrow. I think they're going to be down in Union Square, and I'm going to protest. So the brother felt as though that the protesters are unfairly, you know, they get unfair criticism. My question to you, Professor Griff, you know, with the whole Black Lives Matter movement and the protests that have been occurring across the country for the past 2 years, do you think that we're criticizing these protesters unfairly, and that maybe black people could be doing a little bit of everything is beneficial at this point? A little bit of protesting. Some brothers might do this, some brothers might do that. You know, start your own whatever business, or you know, join your gun club to protect yourself. You know, what's your take on what the brother had to say, and do you think a little bit of everything is beneficial at this point?
Brother Rich, I've quoted 3 or 4 people thus far on this interview. Mm-hmm. If the people that I quoted, if this is what they can do and they're good at doing what they do, then write the blog, write the article, make people aware, post up on Facebook, do the Facebook Live, do the YouTube clip, do whatever we can do. Do a little of everything, Brother Rich.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. If that brother want to go out, and that's what that brother know how to do, get together with your friends and galvanize people and go out there and protest. But just know and understand that's not the end all to be all.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we were talking about in reference to the protest in several interviews. If that's the way what you know how to do, then do it. This is not all that Brother Rich and Professor Griff are going to do. You understand what I'm saying? We're not going to do the interview and just let that be that. We're going to encourage other people, hear what other people have to say, see what other people are doing. And if we can quote some stuff and do some things and some other things and organize gun clubs and do whatever and make people more aware, that's what we're going to do. Because if this is what we do and we feel comfortable at doing this, then we're going to do this. If we don't feel comfortable with going out marching with white people and other people and gay people and other people at the picket sign, yelling just yelling slogans and singing songs and laying out in the street and weighing in and singing in and pissing in and doing whatever. We don't feel comfortable with that. We're not going to do that. But brother, by all means, if that's what you feel comfortable with, do the damn thing. Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Right.
We'll say that again. Desperate times call for desperate measures. People are fed up. Sometimes, Brother Rich, brothers like that need to go to the street so they can let that tension out, man.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? Maybe it's a tension outlet for the brother. I'm not going to knock that. I'm not going to knock that. Maybe that's that brother's way of getting it out, hooking up with other people that feel and think like him, that want to be out there. Let me tell you something. There's been mass protests around the globe. Google mass protests in France. You'll see 200,000 or 300,000 people took to the streets, Brother Rich. But what the media does, they do media blackouts, man. They shut down Google Earth. They do other things. They'll that whole section of Union Square or whatever they're meeting at, they're gonna have a cell phone blackout so nobody can take pictures and send them out. This is what they do, Brother Rich. Mm-hmm. We have to be strategic and smart. We have to take pictures and then go back to our homes and then send this stuff out and let people know that we're in solidarity with one another. We got to reorganize the way they handle us, Brother Rich. Police kill more whites than blacks, I heard some people say. But minority deaths generate more outrage. Black deaths, well, that's goddamn stupid. Let's analyze that real quick, Brother Rich. If there's more white people in America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then mathematically, wouldn't police kill more white people than black people? If there's 8 times the number of more white people in America than black. So let's not use that twisted logic. You understand what I'm saying? Analysis contradicts widespread views of how they deal with black people being targeted purely because of their race. It says Nobel Peace Prize winner novelist Toni Morrison says wants to see an officer shoot an unarmed white teenager in the back for agreeing with that particular conversation about race. The conversation should be about race. That conversation is over and dead with it. Why? Then dead. Because they're not going to shoot white teenagers in the back. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But she almost certainly already has received her wish. It says the analysis released last week shows that more white people died at the hands of law enforcement officers than those of any other race within the last 2 years. But it's not being put on television. Why, Toni Morrison? Is it because of the psychological implications of what being a man being shot in the chest 6 times does to the average young person watching this? I heard one sister say, well, hell, we should just all stay the fuck in the house at this point because we can't do anything.
Wow.
And this is sad. This particular conversation needs to be had, Miss Morrison. Trust me, it needs to be had. But it needs to be had among us. And at the end of the conversation, Miss Morrison, I may beg to differ with you in methodology or whatever, but at the end of the day, we have to protect ourselves, plain and simple. And the sad truth, Brother Rich, and I'm going to end this point, the only way they're going to protect us, man, is we balance the scales out, man. If we balance this out, plain and simple. You're not going to just kill us and go home, order a fucking pizza, man, and eat Frosted Flakes and shit. And watch your favorite television show. It's not going to happen, man. Mm-hmm. And then we got to listen and watch TV and see how this thing is being drawn out and played out among your white psychologists and spokespeople and forensic people and media people. Stop that, man. We're tired of that. We're tired of that.
I got one last question for you, Professor Griff. Earlier in the interview, you stated you was talking about America's pathology being is her denial. What would you say in response to racism and white supremacy? What would you say is black if white people's pathology is denial? What is black people's pathology, Professor Griff?
I think we're stuck on, and this is no insult to my people. We're stuck on trying to prove to white people that we can be just as white as white people, but we do it out of fear. We're stuck on trying to be Americans. We're stuck on trying to out-American the American. We're stuck on subconsciously believing that white people's ice is colder than ours. We're stuck on that only if we had businesses we wouldn't have been. I've heard this narrative and this being discussed today. If there were more jobs in Baton Rouge, that gentleman wouldn't have to sell CDs, thus that incident wouldn't have happened. Shut the fuck up. That incident would have happened somewhere else in Baton Rouge. Plain and goddamn simple. Yes, the vast majority of the brothers in Baton Rouge don't have jobs, so they take to the streets to earn a living. What are people selling Lucy's or dime bags or dub sacks or crystal meth in front of the store? Then they would say, oh, he was selling, he was a drug dealer. We'd heard the Mike Brown scenario. Well, he just kind of bullied his way, and he deserved to get shot. He was selling CDs. Can I ask you something on a personal tip, Brother Rich?
Right, go ahead.
Have you sold a DVD before?
Yes.
Did that warrant any one man coming to shoot you down, Brother Rich?
Not at all.
On the street corners of Brooklyn, where I know you used to set up.
Not at all.
That didn't warrant that. That didn't warrant. That just did not warrant that particular repercussion, Brother Rich. It didn't. You didn't deserve that. Did you deserve to get run up the corner or go get a peddling license or do whatever? Yes, but you didn't get shot down. So we need to take all these things. We need to take all these things into consideration. We are tired of trying to please white people. We've tried everything under the sun, Brother Rich. If we really look at the whole dichotomy, if we look at the whole landscape of the amount of people and the different kinds of black people that were shot down, middle-class black people were shot down, young black people were shot down, women were on the side of the road having the shit beat out of them, and then taken to the jail and murdered. We've been lynched. We've been shot. We've been strangled, Brother Rich. And in some cases, we're the blame for that. It says when the officers who've killed Tamir Rice, Eric Garner, and John Crawford, Mike Brown, Natasha McKinney, never even go to trial for what they did, seeing an officer indicted and charged with a manslaughter or murder feels a little like fitting a camel through the eye of a needle, Brother Rich. We almost think it's impossible to bring a white man to trial and he actually go to jail. I think I vaguely remember one case where the officer was tried and convicted, and that's in South Carolina, where they shot the brother in the back, I believe. And we really never know what happened to that police officer. A ridiculous tiny number of white officers have been convicted and sentenced, Brother Rich, They just don't go to jail for killing black people, Brother Rich. And we have to look at that and be very, very real with ourselves. You know what? You know something, Brother Rich? I think we don't want to be very real with ourselves in this kind of situation because we know damn well, like Malcolm said, we sit and watch this on TV, and we know damn well we should have done something about it, Brother Rich. We know we should take to the streets, arm ourselves, and go do something about this wanton, brutal murder of our people, Brother Rich. We know damn well sitting in front of the TV and listening to them acquit Hillary Clinton. We know damn well that woman's guilty and all out damn doors.
Right.
We don't even want to side with Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is telling a degree of truth this time. 33,000 goddamn emails coming up missing, and they find her not guilty. They don't want to indict her. This is sad and sick, man, for us to sit back and listen to this garbage, man. We're living in a violent culture, man, and we always end up on the ass end of the damn stick, man, when we hear this kind of madness. Have you ever heard of the Casual Killing Act, Brother Rich?
Vaguely.
I want the people that's listening to this to stop and Google the Casual Killing Act. It stated that it is okay to kill a black man if you're correcting him. I'm going to say that again in English, Brother Rich, because I don't want you to think I got an impediment in my speech, or I'm stuttering, or I'm talking too fast because I got a New York accent, or I'm getting above or ahead of myself, or I'm acting too fucking arrogant and cocky. I'm not. In the late 1600s, they had what was called the Casual Killing Act. It stated that it was okay to kill a black if you're correcting them without being charged with a crime. Seems like this is still going on today, Brother Rich. And like you said earlier, that pig in blue was only doing his job. That KK cracker cop was only doing his job, man. Plain and simple. And we're starting to see, let me tell you something, Brother Rich, plain and simple. In my personal life, with what I'm going through, and in my public life. I'm going to tell y'all straight up, black people, and other people that's listening, especially the few amount of white people that's going to hear this. Either y'all going to take the side of truth or don't take a side at all. Go and sit your ass home and sit down and be quiet somewhere. Just like George Bush said, you either with us or you with the terrorists. Plain and simple. Y'all got to decide, y'all going to be on the side of truth and believe what your eyes are actually showing you and what you're seeing, or just be quiet, man. Y'all got to choose side. Take that demon side or you're going to take my side. All right? Take the side of the brother that you saw get murdered, or you're going to take the side of white police officers that do this every single day. By the time we hang this goddamn phone up, Brother Rich, it's probably going to be another murder. They didn't mention the ones that happened over the weekend, Brother Rich, 4th of July. I put it up on my Facebook page, Brother Rich. It's called The Counted. The Counted. People killed by police officers in the USA. Google that. Or go up on my Facebook page. The Counted. They show you the faces, the names, the age, and the place, and how these people were shot and murdered by police officers. And we're not making this up, brother. This is very real, man.
Right.
This is very, very real. And people need to understand this. The Guardian has been counting the people that police have killed by U.S. law enforcement agencies since 2015. Read their stories. And it's chilling. Police prosecutions have increased, but convictions have not. These stories are chilling, Brother Rich. When that second video came out, you actually seen this man get shot, blood coming out of his body. Who the fuck can sit there and take that? But we desensitized because we're used to seeing killings by cops, either on the movies or on the small screen or the big screen, Brother Rich. Right. So it's nothing to see a black man die. New U.S. law would deny trigger-happy cops public funding. These kind of things should be in place, Brother Rich. They should not get public funding. Meaning, you can't kill a black man and then go home and get paid leave.
Crazy.
Until they figure out what happened. Go to killedbypolice.net. Killedbypolice.net. Go to killedbypolice.net. Pull that up and look at the thousands of people that's been murdered by police officers. This is unacceptable, Brother Rich. And we shouldn't tolerate this. It says 776 people killed by police officers so far mid-2015. 161 of them were unarmed black people. Unacceptable, man. Unacceptable. Young black men killed by U.S. Police at high rates in the year, number 1,134 deaths.
Wow.
There was a meme that was put out. It says police in the UK have killed 52 people in the last 115 years. In that same meme, it says 369 people have been killed by police officers in America in 115 days. Not 115 years, Brother Rich. 115 days.
Wow.
That's mind-numbing, man. Brothers and sisters, let's get together and do something about this wanton, brutal murder of our brother Alton Sterling. We offer our condolences to the family. Before the body is lowered into the ground, Brother Rich, they would have killed someone else that looked like you and I, man. Plain and simple. Surprisingly enough, there was a sister. I forget her name. Even if I remembered her name, I'm probably sure she wouldn't want me to mention her name. Blowing my phone up because she wanted me to come down to Baton Rouge before this has happened and talk to young people. And I missed that opportunity. I missed the opportunity, Brother Rich. So shout out to the brothers and sisters that are on the front lines there in Baton Rouge, be it the Nation of Islam, NAACP, all the other organizations, Black Lives Matter, or whether you're just a concerned brother or sister, or whatever, or whether you just know the family or you knew the brother. May the Creator bless you and breathe a breath of courage in your chest. And know and understand, man, that we got to lay these people dead at our doorstep, man, if this continue. I don't care who it is. Plain and simple. That's my take on it, Brother Rich.
Leave the people some contact information, Professor Griff. Anything you got coming up?
My information, as always, people can call me at 678-557-2919. That's 678-557-2919. If that number, if I don't answer on that number, I have an alternate number that people can call me, 516-654-7688. That's 516-654-7688, Brother Rich. And also, they can reach me at Kavan Shah on Facebook, Instagram, Serious Minds, Facebook, Serious Minds or Enemy Minds, of course, Twitter at Professor Griff. And Brother Rich, I'm going to be speaking about this subject and I'm in musicology, music, madness, money, mayhem, murder, and the motherfucker, and the original motherfucker, in Lansing, Michigan, and the location is Lansing Strong, 3426 Pleasant Grove Road, Lansing, Michigan. Brother Rich, I got to talk about these things, man, because we got to talk about the culture, and we have to talk about what's going on with our people in a very real way, Brother Rich. Sunday, August 7th, 2016, musicology, music, money, madness, murder, and the original motherfucker, all right, at a place called Lansing Strong. All right, doors open up at 3, lecture starts at 4. Lansing Strong is 3426 Pleasant Grove Road, Lansing, Michigan, Brother Rich. And I believe the number to call is 909-500-1807. 909-500-1807. All right, or 832-368-3863. That's Professor Griff in Lansing, Michigan, August 7th. All right. And, of course, I'm going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, starting this Sunday, and I'm going to be in Wilson, North Carolina. All these flyers I'm going to put up on my page. Y'all can call me about the Wilson gig this Saturday at 678-557-2919. It's 678-557-2919. Brother Richard, anybody want to email me? They can email me at seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. That's seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com, Brother Rich.
Indeed. Once again, family, this is Brother Rich, Underground Railroad Radio with Professor Griff, Serious Minds Radio /TV, and we signing out, family. Peace. Peace, family. This is Brother Rich from UGR, urging all my viewers and subscribers to help support the channel by donating just $1 to the UGR PayPal account. We appreciate the viewership and support, and we understand the power of $1. If you benefit in any way, shape, or form, we ask that you donate $1, whether it be monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, or yearly, so that we can build our brand to compete with the NBCs, the MTVs, and the Foxes of the world. I figured since Kanye could ask Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion, I could ask my subscribers to donate $1 so I could make the best possible content possible. The main objective of this channel is to inspire you to become the greatest version of yourself. So hopefully throughout the years of you watching this program, you have been inspired to become the greatest version of yourself. If you would like to donate, you could go to www.paypal.com and send a donation to richandmerit7@yahoo.com. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your program.